And after the clouds finally move out Sunday night, we will see some sunshine, which will stick around through most of next week. I'll give the details on a warming trend next week, which could lead up to the hottest temperatures of the year so far, just in time for Memorial Day weekend. So that's what's coming up tonight. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hello, Todd, that's fine too. It is tradition to begin the festivities with our hellos and end with a little levity. And so let's see who's tuning in tonight. Betty, hello. Gary, hi. Shelly, hello. Sarah in Brooklyn, New York, greetings to you. Stacy, hello. Bonnie, greetings. Akeisha, hello. Beth and Ashdown, greetings to you. Looking at all that stuff above you. Yeah, there it is above you, Betty, and it's not headed your way as of yet. You're going to be looking at the stuff that's back here to the north and west if it does get going. It's kind of encouraging that we are seeing some weakening with this cell here, which is approaching McCurtain County from the north and west. So that's what we have right now on the radar. Just to zoom this out, and let me switch this over to the national radar here and show you what's happening elsewhere. You can see we really don't have much developing between this area and the area that's down here south of Dallas. So it'll be interesting to see if that trend continues, as we are looking at, again, that cold front, which is going to slide its way southward into the Arctic. Let me, I did add some stuff to the toolbar here, so let me go ahead and change that out. And okay, it looks like I'm ready to go now. It should be, there we go. All right, so let's see the weather map here as we go out 4 days worth of weather maps across the country, and you can see that we are going to be looking at the cold front coming through tonight. Probably we'll be left with quite a few clouds here through most of the weekend. And Sarah, that front will move through your area this weekend, likely bringing you some rain there in Brooklyn. You can see that moving into Sunday, we will continue to see quite a few clouds. A little bit of rain in Texas. Kind of doubtful that we will see that make its way as far east as the Arctic. So let's move forward with the longer range version of Futurecast. You can see the clouds hanging tough Sunday night. We finally see some sunshine return Monday, and then Monday night and Tuesday also looking relatively quiet. All right, so that's the thing we're watching is the cold front, obviously, for tonight. So here's the latest, and I want to first of all show you the HRRR model. Again, this is the very latest in model information. You can see it does see the storms that are off to the north and west of us right now, but notice the trend. It shows these storms weakening, and that's what I've noticed here during the afternoon as these storms moved into northeast Texas. They just kind of fell apart, and it looks like that is something that could continue. We'll likely see some scattered activity further to the south and east in East Texas, but it's going to be very scattered, and it's possible many locations could stay totally dry. And by the time we get to, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, we should be pretty much done. Possible we could see some new development of showers during the day tomorrow, but for the most part, rainfall chances are looking slim, and we'll have to keep an eye on the southern edge of the area very late tomorrow for some new potential development. All right, so that's what the HR model is showing. As far as rainfall, again, this is a 16-hour total, I believe, and you can see how low those numbers are and how scattered these blobs are. So the HR really doesn't see a whole lot of rain as far as we're concerned here in the Arctic. And as far as Futurecast, this is its outlook here for the next couple of days, and you can see that here come the storms. Notice that not much, all right, not much going to midnight. Maybe a little bit of a flare-up east part of the area, and then a scattered stuff maybe left over in the morning, and then we're pretty much done. So again, it is looking doubtful that we'll see much as far as severe weather for the Arctic here during the nighttime hours. And I showed you the rainfall potential from the HR model. Here's the same thing from Futurecast, and you can see it is also very, very low on those totals. And just to kind of clear things up and verify this, we got 2 high-res models showing the lack of rain, at least relatively light rainfall totals. Here's the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center for the next 48 hours. And you might recall, I believe I showed this last night, it had a swath of 1 to 2 inches over the northeastern part of the area. Now these numbers have come down quite a bit, and you can see that I'm just going to click on towns here, and you can see what they are showing here. So it does look relatively dry for the most part across the Arklatex. So you might hear some thunder, but severe weather is looking extremely unlikely for most of the area during the nighttime hours. Tonight, got a couple high-res models showing that, so confidence is high that we have not a whole lot to worry about. Obviously, anything's possible, but it is looking unlikely that we'll see severe weather during the nighttime hours tonight. So that being said, let me switch this over and get ready for a grain of salt time, and we'll talk longer range here in a second. See if we got any comments here. Let's see. Gary, let me go back to the top here. Let's see. Gail and Marshall, hello. Gwen, greetings. Barbara, rain expected in the Prescott area tonight? Yes, you will probably see some rain. And in fact, let me go back to the radar here and switch over to the Shreveport radar. And the storms west of DeQueen may actually stay to the north of DeQueen there. Let's see, Gary. I'll put this in the motion. You can see where they're going to be going. This is where they've been during the past hour, and it looks like the brunt of this one cell near DeQueen Lake is going to probably stay to the north of DeQueen. You might see some rain. This stuff back here, it's kind of doubtful, really, that it's really going to impact you that much. So this very well could be the heaviest rain that comes the closest to DeQueen. Barbara, as I mentioned, you probably will, but all these storms that are on the radar now, Barbara, will likely stay to your north. Let's see. Eric says it's 77 in Colbert, Oklahoma. Sarah says 58 in Brooklyn. That sounds nice. Stacy agrees. It will be cooler tomorrow, Gail, and you'll see that in the forecast here in a second. Christopher, watching in... Oh, you're in Texarkana now. It is going to stay low, Christopher, which of course is good news. Yeah, again, sometimes you got to take those with a grain of salt. I really don't get too concerned when I see the lighter, the not very much intensity, because usually we don't see much when that occurs. Is when we start seeing the reds and the blues, that type of rotation. That's when we tend to see a little bit better chance. So did show somebody, but yeah, really nothing too much. Gary, you're quite welcome. All right, so let's go to grain of salt time and talk longer range here and what we're going to be looking at. Again, the cause of what's bringing this frontal system down is this big upper level low, which is now centered over the Great Lakes. It's going to move over towards Sarah there in the northeastern sections of the country and bring her some rain. Here, once it clears out, we'll be watching upper level high pressure. You can see it down here over Central America, basically southern Mexico. That's going to begin to rear its ugly head further to the north, and you can see the expanse of again, this ridging here. It's fairly weak. In fact, we do have a rather broad cyclonic circulation here. You can see the counterclockwise. So we have a weakness right here, which looks like it's going to be far enough away that it's not going to bring us much of any rain. We will see a possibility maybe sometime in the middle of next week. But here comes that ridge, and it does look like it is going to expand to the north and strengthen somewhat, as what some of the other longer range models are indicating, bringing some of the hottest temperatures that we've seen so far this year. In fact, when I show you the ensembles, middle 90s, definitely looking as if they will be a possibility by Memorial Day. So not much rain also to speak of, but here's a look at the 10-day rainfall from the blend of the different models. And this actually, a lot of this is tonight. It's quite possible that we stay totally dry from tomorrow through next Memorial Day weekend. That is looking somewhat promising. And if we get some rain, it's not going to be much. You can see it's possible that some locations stay totally dry during the course of the next 10 days. It's been a long time since we've had numbers this low on this particular graphic. And just to kind of compare this, let me go back to the forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. This is 7 days. This is a week's worth. And you can see they are showing against a half an inch. So this is relatively close to what I just showed you. So again, rainfall looking below normal here for the next 10 days. That being said, let's go back and talk about what we can expect to see as far as temperatures. Start you off with the GFS ensembles, and you can see that they show the cooling trend. How about 58 for Monday morning? Probably not going to be that cool. It depends on the clouds, and it depends on how warm we get Sunday. Definitely going to be close to 80 for high Sunday, but you can see the quick warm up once the sunshine returns. And notice, here's Memorial Day, and I actually do have 94 for the high for Memorial Day, so mid-90s for that Memorial Day week. All right, lows, upper 60s, lower 70s. So we're going to get a little taste of summer here as we head out of May into the first few days of June. That's the GFS ensembles. Here is the European ensembles, and you can see they are also showing the cooler temperatures this weekend, the warm up heading into next week, and also not quite as hot, but still low to middle 90s for Memorial Day week. So again, it does look like some of the hottest temperatures of the year so far on the way as we close out May and head into the month of June. Let's hope that this isn't the beginning of the same thing that happened last year, where we were extremely dry in June and that led to a very hot July. We've had a lot of rain here in the last say 6 weeks or so, so we could stand, you know, a good 10 days of dry weather. But we don't want to see this get extended, because if it gets hot, we start to get dry, then it kind of feeds on itself. So we'll see how this plays out. But I'm really not seeing anything significant as far as big rainmakers for us for the next couple of weeks. All right, so that's what we're looking at here in the longer range. I've touched on the temperatures. Who else is, let's see. Santa C's taught on the air on a Friday night. Yeah, I figured I mentioned last night, Chris, that I would jump on here and give you an update on the storms tonight. So figured I'd do so. I thought about for a split second not doing it since it was looking somewhat benign tonight, but I figured I would jump on and I'll give you a quick update. I agree, Gail, a little early. Actually, it's not early for 90s. Bit early for middle 90s, though. Sarah says she's bragging. Needed a jacket today in Brooklyn. And, well, Betty, get ready. We haven't even started summer yet. Hello there, Linda. Summer is on the way. And Sarah, you are quite welcome. And Sarah, as far as your temperatures, let me look at your numbers here fairly quickly. Boo, 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 boo. And it looks like your temperatures, I mentioned the rain tomorrow. You're going to be 60s tomorrow, and then probably 70s from Sunday through the following Sunday, and then 80s after that every day. Lows will generally be in the 50s, and then you'll warm into the 60s starting Memorial Day. And as far as your rain, Sarah, it looks like, now it doesn't look like much rain for you. Let's see, it looks like into next week, maybe your next best chance. And I would expect you might see a little bit this weekend with that frontal system coming through. So let's see if we've got any other questions before I sign off. Rochelle, hello. Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie needs a dad joke. Well, I have one lined up, Bonnie. And I tested it on my wife, and she kind of she laughed, which you know. Anyway, let me get going with the forecast here and show you what we can expect for the next 10 days. Again, this takes into account what you just saw, as well as what is on the way here for the next 10 days based on all the other different models. And you can see tonight we are going to be looking at scattered storms. One or two could be on the strong side here, especially here in the next hour or two over the northern sections of the area. Lows tonight ranging from the low 60s north to the upper 60s across the southern half of the area. 69 in Shreveport, 65 degrees for the low temperature in Texarkana. Tomorrow we will see lots of clouds, breezy north wind, and that combination will keep us cool. 79 tomorrow for the high in Shreveport, 77 in Texarkana, 77s also in Carthage, Marshall, as well as in Linden. 10-day forecast shows the warm-up that will follow as sun returns Monday. 84 to start the work week. We'll be in the mid-80s Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 80s Thursday, low 90s starting Friday. And then for Memorial Day weekend, we'll see those highs warm into the low to middle 90s. As I mentioned, 94 degrees for Memorial Day weekend, low at 70. That tells you with that south wind, it's going to be a touch on the humid side as well. So that is what we are looking at here for the next 10 days here in the Arklatex. One quick look at the radar one more time, and in case you're just tuning in, show you that we are looking at again a few storms grazing the northern edge of the Arklatex here. Notice these storms back here to the northwest that I highlighted earlier that we would have to watch continue to weaken. So that goes to pretty much give us verification that it's looking unlikely that we'll have severe weather issues for much of the Arklatex tonight. We'll have to watch the northern sections of Howard, Hempstead, and maybe Nevada counties here in the next hour or so. But other than that, most of the stronger storms will stay to our north the way it is looking right now. So it's dad joke time. Time to end the work week with a little levity, and make sure I got everything ready to go. I think I'm ready to go. So here it is. Did you hear about the new movie called Constipated? It's not out yet. Thank you. Thank you very much. But anyway, that will do it for me tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out tonight at 9. I'll have the latest on the thunderstorms that are impacting the small part of the Arklatex. And that goes for 10 o'clock on NBC as well. Hopefully you have a nice weekend. Enjoy the cooler temperatures, even though we will see lots of clouds. I'll be back here Monday with another live update. Until then, have a great weekend and enjoy the cooler temperatures. Good night.